and welcome to yet another week. Champions are still not determined. There can only be one, and it needs to be fair. Do you understand? It needs to be fair. You gotta be fair in life and death. Let's play that hardcore shit again. Curse!
Hello and welcome to yet another episode. A mysterious, questionable episode. We do not know what the future holds. Right now we are standing in limbo, I believe is the saying. We don't know who's going to win the championship. We don't know when. The rescheduled matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills will transpire. We don't even know if it will happen. We don't know what kind of devilish plans Tanner, Jason, and Jack have set up for this rigged championship matchup that they're colluding in a three-way with. I can tell you that ESPN has laid the rules, but they have also left a loophole there for the league commissioner, league manager, whatever you want to call him, to make up his own rules, which to me is, pretty amateur of ESPN to allow league managers just to make up rules. You're ESPN. You call the shots. It's your platform. You make the rules. Nothing else matters. You just make the rules. It's not rocket science. Am I echoing here? Do I have an echo going on? Let me check something real quick. Let's go to a classic vocal real quick. Let's see if I can do that. Here we go. Let's pick up where we left off. That's going to be really hard to edit. Let's see how that goes. All right, let's look at some things here. So let's break down what happened in Week 17. You got Jason Bailey. All his people played. Patrick Mahomes getting a whopping 25.52. Aaron Jones doing work with a 13.3. Jamal Williams, 22.7. Jefferson with, I believe, 2 targets. Let's see how many targets he had. He had 5 targets, got 1 reception for 15 yards. Incredible. Look at this. 2.5. Last game, 31, 30, 33, 18, 29, whatever. 35, 25, 15, 16, 30, 31. He's only gone under 10 points 1, 2, 3 times. Still got a reverb going on here? You guys are just going to have to deal with that. Lucky for Jack here that Justin Jefferson didn't even get. I mean, even if he would have got 10 points, Jack would have no shot at all here. Marquise Brown, 12.1. Hawkinson, 12.9. He had a good game here, 121.22, throwing a 222 there. And then you go over here to Mr. Peaking Blinders team, Jared Goff with pretty good points there with 22.4, 14 points from Connor. Keenan Allen, 11.8. Leonard Fournette with a crappy 8.7. Eagles did good. His kicker did good. Let's look at his bench, though. If he would have played DeAndre Swift, 27.7 points. If he would have played Tyler Algier, 16.5 points. I know he was contemplating playing Tyler Algier, and he didn't play him. He didn't even play him. See, look at Jason's bench over here. He had Mostert for 23 that would have made a huge difference. Would have given him a little bit more lineage there. But big miss here by Mr. Sezekers with DeAndre Swift sitting on his bench. Meanwhile, you got Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, and Dawson Knox with no points here. And for those of you who don't follow football, but you find this channel very intriguing and entertaining, because I am an entertainer. I put on good content. I do good shit, and people listen to me. Unless you're in this fantasy football league, you just throw everything aside. You throw everything aside. Even though I called it, I said this was going to happen. I said that they would make this rule, and if it lands, it sticks, game's over. I don't think there's going to be a matchup. But just for those of you who don't know what's going on, let me just show you this. Everything was going fine. Everything was going fine until Mr. Bailey here threw a quad six. He threw a quad six here. A quad six. And what's even crazier, from this snapshot, you got the 4 6s there. What's this? 5 6. You got 6 6s. I don't think it can get much more demonic than that. And then what happened? What happened when the hecta 6 went down? Or the penna 6, excuse me. The penna 6. I think penna is 5. When the 6 6s went down, what happened? What happened? Oh, what's going on here? Oh, someone died on the football field. What happened here? Troy Aikman says it's not what any of us want to see, but it's what happened. They say, stop playing the clip. Stop playing the clip. Why? Why should we stop playing the clip? You guys played it live on TV. You knew it was going to happen. And I'll tell you how you knew. DeMar knew it was going to happen. Oh, jeez. DeMar knew it was going to happen. Okay? DeMar knew it was going to happen. How do you know that, Tyler? How do you know that? Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let's look at this image here. This is DeMar. I'm not sure when. I think it was just taken sometime in December, okay? Let's look at the caption here. This is his Instagram. Blue check mark. Number 3. Life worth way more than millions, but I still take a risk. Let me say it again. His life worth way more than millions, but he still takes a risk. The hell he talking about? Oh, well, why would he do that? His career's over. He's not going to make millions anymore. He's not going to be chasing M's anymore. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? I don't know. Let's take a look. Take a look at I don't know. Did he have a fundraiser going on? Oh, he's got a fundraiser. And it's at $6 million right now. Before he keeled over, he was at, I think like 120-something thousand, I believe. I mean, look at this. Jason Harrell donated $20,000. Are you kidding me? 2,500. 10. Anonymous. Who $200. This is just 4 minutes ago. Look, 2 minutes ago, $103. I'm all about a charity, but I can tell you that these charities, every charity is full of baloney, man. If you want to help somebody, you help them directly. You don't give to charities like this, because there's a good old percentage going to GoFundMe.com out of this $6,284,520 with a $2,500 goal. What's up with that? What is up with that? Top donations, $20,000. Robert Kraft from the New England Patriots, $18,000. Interesting. Pray for DeMar, $15,000. Matt Stafford, $12,000. The Texans gave him $10,000. Russell and Sierra Wilson, $10,000. Tom Brady, $10,000. Let's see. Carpet Man Flooring, very nice of him to do that. Devontae and Devaney, is that his wife's name? $5,000. The Commanders, $5,000. Tony Rubin, Sadish DeMarshall, okay. Chris Jericho, what? Chris Jericho gave $5,000 twice? Oh, what? Andy and J.J. Dalton, Shannon Sharp, piece of trash. I bet Skip didn't give any money. Josh McDaniels, $2,500. Who else we got? Gordon Holly, Zarell. Michael Phelps, Drake London. Who else we got? Deborah Bueller, Gilbert Miles. You don't see any Jaguar players on here. OPCC Fantasy Football, not as good as F.O.F.F.L Fantasy Football. Get the frig out of here. We're not donating, right, guys? Arnold Palmer, tax write-off, tax write-off, tax write-off. Reggie Jackson, tax write-off, tax write-off, tax write-off. Pretty surprised by Chris Jericho giving not one, but 2 donations of $5,000. Interesting. Okay, let's cut the BS. Let's see what ESPN said about how this is going to play out, okay? Game was canceled. Jack left with 3 players left on his roster still to play. Postponed, and when the Buffalo and the Cincinnati Bengals reschedule, if they reschedule, these are the rules. Matchups will not be considered final until the official conclusion of cancellation of the Bills-Bengals games as deemed by the National Football League. That means that nothing is conclusive until this game is either played or canceled. If it is canceled, should the game be played, an update to Week 17 statistics will be processed shortly after the game, and the winner of the matchup will be determined accordingly, if it's played, if applicable, regardless of when the game is played. Here we go. Here's important. Should the National Football League officially cancel the game, we will finalize Week 17 matchups using the official NFL statistics for Week 17. Meaning that this score right here is final. And if you ask me, this game's not going to get played. They're not going to play this game. They don't have any time to play this game unless they play it after Week 18 between the week right before the playoffs start. And I don't think there is a week before the playoffs start. Don't quote me on that. I'm not really sure. But I don't think there's any time to play this game unless they play 2 games in 1 week, meaning if they do that after Week 18, then Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, and Dawson Knox might play because whatever. But Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase are not going to play the game, which means Jack needs to be on that waiver wire picking up the backup to Joe or Jamar, or getting some just knockoff receiver running back to throw in there. That's your free advice, Jack, if you want to take it. But here's the kicker. As always, private league commissioners, league managers can modify matchup scores results using our in-game LM tools if they wish to take a different approach for the matchups impacted by this game. This includes the ability to execute retroactive lineup changes and or manually update the Final Fantasy matchup scores to achieve the desired results, which basically means that the league manager can basically do whatever he wants about this matchup. Could be a whole new set of plays. They could play Week 18 against different matchups. They could wait for this to play out, which is what I would vote for because that's the only really accurate thing to give this matchup. But that being said, whomever wins this matchup, Season 3 of the F.O.F.F.L will have a gigantic asterisk by it because there was some fuck shit that went down on the championship matchup. It's going to have a huge, gigantic asterisk by it. Actually, if you want, you could throw 6 asterisks on it or 3 asterisks on it, because an asterisk has 6 points. If you guys want to get real crazy, you could throw an asterisk on it. But I'm glad I got the opportunity to do another show before I quit this whole league, because there's too much collusion. There's not enough trust in the league itself. There's no democracy. I say we leave it up to a vote. If it were me, if I was the league manager, vice president, presidential commissioner, owner of the fucking union, of the union owners, I would go by the rules that ESPN laid out. But ESPN is really only giving you up until this week, and they've already confirmed that they're not going to play this game this week. They're not going to play it next week because they might play it. What week are we in? We're in week 18. So they might play it next week, but I doubt it. If they play next week, like I said, they're not going to play their starters. You're not going to have Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, or Dawson Knox in that game. And there's going to be too much, but the NFL loves to do a tribute, so I could see this as being a very special, high-rating game, which they may play the starters. I don't know. The world is absolutely upside down. It's flat and it's upside down. The portals are open. Demons are coming in. Frickin' ritualistic shit is going down. Little Boo Boo from 3-6 Mafia just died while Miley Cyrus sang underneath the coveted ark of Freemasonry. That's what I'm going to end it on. I hope you guys had a good week. Good luck to this, whatever the hell's going on here. Enjoy these shows while you can. This is a long one because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this. But as always, stay safe, stay smart. Peace out.
Going to be the bookends to this. 1,616 athlete cardiac arrests, serious issues. 1,114 of them dead since COVID injection. All kinds of data points here. They even have a graph with all kinds of data points to show the deaths post-vaccination, the collapses post-vaccination, all the data points, all the footnotes in this story right here. Okay? Now, that's over a year old. So it's probably safe to say that you've had double that since this story. But here's the headlines. Japan launches official investigation into millions of COVID vaccine deaths. That's from yesterday. Japan launches official investigation into millions of COVID vaccine deaths. That's from yesterday. But here we go. Here's the athlete news. Doctors baffled after 16-year-old football player and wrestler suffers a stroke and blood clot in his brain. 18-year-old Mississippi State University football player Sam Westmoreland dies suddenly. Freshman Benedictine football player suffers cardiac arrest and collapses during practice. 17-year-old high school student dies suddenly after suffering critical medical emergency during flag football game. Divide County High School football player now recovering after suffering cardiac arrest during game. 17-year-old high school football player dies in his sleep. 16-year-old high school football player collapses and dies after suffering medical emergency during practice. High school athlete found with 6-foot-long clot in his leg, ending his football career. Doctors baffled on what happened. 21-year-old college football player in Arkansas dies suddenly after collapsing. 27-year-old Barcelona and Norway striker Caroline Graham Hansen announces break from international football due to heart problems and exhaustion. Luke Knox, Florida college football player and brother of Buffalo Bills tight end Dawson Knox, dies suddenly at the age of 22. Family and doctors are baffled by the sudden and unexplained death of a 16-year-old Stanford high school football player. 12-year-old Clayton middle schooler dies following youth football practice due to severe medical emergency. Former South Carolina quarterback MVP Phil Petty dies at 43, third former football player